Good evening, everyone. And as I had mentioned before and promised, that there is one more story, a haunted story, that I want to share with you. That it is my real life haunted story this time. It's a last story, but it is a a real life haunted story of mine, but that doesn't include a story of a ghost. So let's get right to it. So, as I shared with you in my previous video, uh, which was my real life haunted ghost story number 9, then suddenly I believe it was after that happened, and uh, there is something else that occurred there. And also keep in mind that I already had shared with the pastor and the pastor's one of his sons, because he has 3 sons. I let him know shortly after the first 2 or 3 incidences that happened that I let them know, talk to them one on one, and individually let them know, what was going on and what had happened. But unfortunately, they didn't believe me, so I told them, why don't you guys try sleeping here for one evening, then you'll see what I'm talking about. So that I let them know before. But anyways, like I'm saying, back to the story. What happened was, it was probably around my last story I shared with you guys, my real life haunted ghost story number 9. Then it was probably around another week later, and this is scary because by this time, I believe the pastor had told me that, again, it was probably for the second time, if I remember correctly, because this was such a long time ago, that the lights weren't working again. So he said, or something, that he wanted to save money on the lights and for me to turn them off. I think it was this time. So before going to bed, I had to turn them off to save money for the pastor, because, like I said in my previous videos, that this was going to be a second church, or just some kind of a church building to use for the congregation. And the pastor was undecided if he was going to make that building the new church or not. He was still undecided at the time, but he said basically it was going to be a second church or an extension of the church where the whole congregation can use it. So that's what he had planned to do with this particular building that I was staying at. So what happens is that, again, one night I'm ready to go to sleep. And of course, keep in mind this is around already, it's probably mid-November at this time. So that is the time frame already past Halloween. And then so another night I'm ready to go to sleep, and remembering and obeying the pastor's orders, before I go to sleep. And then I knew, of course, having my flashlight first in handy, I turn off the light to save the pastor money, I guess. And then I had my flashlight, and then I went to my room, and then I went to sleep. But then, all of a sudden, this particular night, I went to sleep early, somewhere like around, I believe, either 9 or 10 p.m. And then, all of a sudden, this was like around, I would probably say, probably midnight. I'm very sound asleep, and I kid you not, I hear this loud boom, like someone, what's it called, exploded something. But that is what woke me up. Then it gets even more scarier because when I get out, my eyes open, I realized this loud boom, and what it is that then, you know, it actually, you know, disappointed me. And for anyone who was in this situation, it would both scare and shock you. What I realized is because I also had on top of my door a little opening, rectangle opening, and other two, it was a little bit longer on the left side, which I could see through, what's going on. As I mentioned in a previous video, whether the lights are on or off. So I hear this loud boom, and it wakes me up, and my eyes pop open, and what I realized is because the lights were off, someone turned them on. I'm like, what the heck? And then that's when it gets scary, because then I noticed, and with my loud Christian music, because I had the radio on, and I had my Christian music to keep away the bad spirits and evil demons. It was very loud, so I noticed right away. I'm like, what the heck? I get up from my bed, and then, so basically I noticed someone came in, someone broke in the place where I was at, and they quickly slammed the door hard. That was the loud boom that woke me up, and I realized right away, because the lights were off, this person turned them on. And then I quickly, after that, right away, when I got up from my bed, I headed straight. It was very close to me, on the side of my bed on the floor, the 2x4. So then what I did, and then I slowly but very carefully get up without this person knowing that I was in there. I quickly walked to, there's a chair right in front of my bed, and then I hear this person slowly walking towards, like, the living room where me and my friends would eat during lunch, and in the evening, where I heard in the previous video of that ghost slash demon carrying or dragging a body in a bag. He starts walking. I hear his footsteps, the boots, boom, 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 walking right where, like I said, where we would eat, next to the barbecue grill. He goes all around where Yuri's room used to be, like examining the place. And where Yuri's room used to be, it was like wide open on the right side, so he didn't have a door like they built for me, like one of the deacons did. And then he stops. He was thinking about going on the side of the stairwell upstairs, but then he stops, and then he quickly but slowly walks again. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe he like stops a little, and I go, I just hope he does not come here. And so he maybe or suspected that someone was living in there, which was me because of the loud Christian music. So, of course, I have my cell phone on with me, and I have my 2x4, hoping this guy doesn't come near me or near my door. And then suddenly, boom, 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 boom. He opens the door, and then he slams shut the door and he leaves. And then, wow, to me that was a great relief, but I bet that would have shocked anybody. And I kid you not, that was scary. And it probably took like about, either it was probably, if I don't remember, like I said, it's been a long time ago, clearly, it might have happened even at 1 a.m. Because I remember sitting there listening to the good Christian music, and now by that time, either it was Christian music or just music in general, and just sitting there, and I think the time passed by really quick, like around until 3 a.m. I waited and quickly came out of my room, and I basically ran really quick and locked the door, and then went straight back to my room, locked my room, and then slowly but surely went back to bed to get some sleep. Now,